Well, China has come out strongly against Japan's new defense white paper, which warns of escalating security threats in the region. It says that it has officially notified Tokyo of its opposition.
日本新版的防卫白皮书指责抹黑中国国防政策、正常军力发展和正当海洋活动，渲染所谓中国威胁，在台湾问题上干涉中国内政。中方对此表示强烈不满和坚决反对，已就此向日方提出严正交涉。
In its annual report, Japan identified China as its main security concern, along with Russia and North Korea. Tokyo describes Beijing as a threat to Taiwan as well and fears that Russia's invasion of Ukraine has set a dangerous precedent for resolving disputes. Tokyo also sees Moscow deepening its ties with Beijing and says this could upset the military balance in Asia. Lo Minmin joins us live now from Shanghai for more on this. Minmin, tell us more about China's response to this white paper.
You've just heard the Foreign Ministry spokesperson hitting back fiercely at Japan. The spokesperson was keen to emphasize that China's national defense policy comes from a defensive posture, not an offensive posture, and its aim is to protect and safeguard China's sovereignty, and it frames China's military activities as normal development. And without naming Russia, the spokesperson said that China's military cooperation with other countries, including joint cruises, conforms to international law and is not targeted at any particular country. This comes after Japan raised alarm over growing military ties between China and Russia, especially in the wake of the Ukrainian war, warning that an isolated Moscow could lean closer towards Beijing. Now, China and Russia has been jointly conducting nuclear bomber exercises over the Sea of Japan since 2019, and it reached what Japan calls unacceptable level in May when US President Joe Biden visited Tokyo for the Quad Summit. And China and Japan has also been mired in this long-standing territorial dispute over what China calls the Diaoyu Islands and what Japan calls the Senkaku Islands. Beijing maintains that these islands have historically belonged to China since ancient times, and so maritime activities off its waters are totally legitimate. And Beijing raised concerns over Japan's growing military budget, warning the country to stop its wrongful practices of finding excuses to expand its military budget.
我们敦促日方立即停止渲染周边安全威胁，为自身强军扩武寻找借口的错误做法，认真倾听国际社会的声音。 深刻反省侵略历史，坚持走和平发展道路，以实际行动取信于亚洲邻国和国际社会。
Minmin, Japan's defense paper also devotes a significant space to the issue of Taiwan. What does Beijing have to say on that?
Beijing, as usual, says that Taiwan is an inalienable part of its territory and that the Taiwan issue is purely its internal affairs, and so no external party has any right to interfere with this. But the problem is Japan's white paper had dedicated one chapter to Taiwan, highlighting China's growing assertiveness and the growing military gap between Beijing and Taipei. This is the second year in a row that Japan has broken with years of precedents to directly link Taiwan's security with its own and with the stability of the international community. And of course, tensions over the Taiwan Strait has been escalating recently with a potential upcoming trip from U.S. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi. Beijing has responded forcefully, saying that it would take strong countermeasures if the trip goes ahead. It would strongly violate the One China principle and shake the very foundations of U.S.-China relations. And at this point, it's unclear whether Pelosi would continue with the trip after China's warning, experts saying that Beijing could retaliate by sending warplanes into Taiwan's self-declared air defense zone, which could trigger a response from both Taiwan and the U.S. Don?
Minmin, thank you for that. Lo Minmin there reporting from Shanghai.